What is going on, everyone? My name's Boy, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the left side of the map in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is the Rapl in the red color, playing as Oranos. His name is Swissboy. The map is Alfheim, and this is game number 3 of this best of 5 series for the Vubly Champions League. Relegations, promotions, whatever you want to call it. It's game number 3. Both players have one win. Swissboy going with his third separate god selection. Rapl sticking with his Odin here. Interested to see how this one goes out, as Rapl has struggled against Atlantean all season long. Because he's a Nilla player, he hasn't quite worked out the kinks of Atlantean. And I mean, these Atlantean players, they've had so many hours in this game of playing Atlantean. They know the ins and outs, whereas Rapl has to study it, and he can't catch up silly just by playing the games. He has to really understand the matchup and see what he can do to win it. That being said, people have been saying Odin is the best counter for Oranos that's available currently. However, it's mostly just on the high hunt maps. These maps, such as Alfheim, oftentimes can be very low hunt, and we are seeing something similar like that. This is kind of a 2 hunt pack here. We've got the elk and we have the deer here, but the deer are both in the center of the map. So whoever gets map control essentially gets 2 packs of deer, and the other player gets 0 packs of deer. So we will see. We'll see what happens here, but it'll be interesting for sure. And oftentimes we have seen Odin getting the advantage early against Oranos, because they go for Ulfsark, they go for Lone Wanderer Ulfsark, which take 9 seconds to build, compared to the Murmillo, which take, I think it's, off the top of my head, it's 14 seconds. And the Murmillo, slightly stronger than the Ulfsark, but because they train a little bit slower, they don't quite cut it. And once the Lone Wanderer comes in, those Ulfsark start countering the entire army of Oranos. So we'll see what Swissboy can come up with if he goes completely standard. Surprised to see him going for the chicken here. Obviously wants to advance quite fast. He's going for a 4-minute advance time. I like the idea. He sees the hunt in the middle of the map. He's going for a 4-minute build. He's got this hunt over here. And he's going to try and put a lot of pressure onto his opponent here. He's got the oracles. Does he spot? He spots the hunt, so he can go for an oracle timing to push off this elk here, which could be huge, slowing down any potential early Ulfsark spam. We've got the temple coming up very far back, and these gatherers need to get to work as they dump in resources going somewhere else. Oracle gets pulled back here, was hit by the Ulfsark, but still a very valuable unit to be valid regardless if he does hit this location here. We'll see what he goes for. He could also hit this tower here and push off this gold mine. Do we see an advance time? Not just yet for Rapl. And Prometheus is on the way. 2 villagers gold, 2 villagers wood, 2 villagers food here for Swissboy. And the wall up. But Swissboy not making a move in onto this location. A little bit upsetting because he knew about it. And he should know that he can get super value out of early Valor here. It's sort of looking like he's just trying to spot with these oracles and not going to get anything from them. Does he build another one? He does build a 3rd oracle here, so he is going for that push with the Valor on these oracles. He does hit the 355, and he's moving in. I wouldn't have minded him to send a citizen forward here either to get the hero oracle out, the hero citizen out as well. But he's just going after this sentry tower, going to try and tear it down. We've got Odin, mountain chiller. He's just chilling on the mountains, doing his thing. But he's going to get pushed back, and the oracles should be able to take this sentry tower down and open up this gold mine for raids. Swissboy shouldn't care at all about this Hersa until the classical age comes in, and this sentry tower going to be fairly, well, it might actually live here as the Promethean coming in. These oracles kind of stand up against the Hersa here. They're very similar in stats, and there's 3 of them. But we'll see what happens. The Promethean coming in, going to be targeting down the Valkyrie here, but the Valkyrie does crazy amounts of damage. We see the Longhouse coming up for Rapl. We've got Terma coming in. We've got Murmillo coming in. The Promethean does get picked off, but gets replaced with those 2 Promethean offspring. And now the unit's going to be returning onto this sentry tower. No watchtower going to be coming through for Rapl, as Swissboy is just completely going at it against Rappel's Odin here. And we see Holfsark spamming out right now. The dwarf getting attacked here, almost getting picked off, maybe worthwhile. Shockwaving this, does manage to pick off that one dwarf, but trades it for a Murmillo there. This Ulfsark getting caught out as well. Nice play from Swissboy so far, has a very big advantage before Lone Wanderer comes in. And in actuality, it looks like Rapl not going for his hunt either, not able to secure that forward hunt there. The Valkyrie almost getting picked off. 28 HP left right now. Almost should just get picked off. We do see the last Ogre hero does fall, and it's looking like Swissboy has to retreat for the time being, though I think his army would probably continue winning this fight here. We even see some throwing axemen coming out. That's not what you want to be doing in this fight, in this matchup here. We just see another dwarf getting picked off, as Swissboy just getting super value out of this rush right now. And the units moving back in. Do snipe that throwing axe. That's why you don't build the throwing axeman there. It's because the Terma gets some bonus damage. There's the forest fire from Rapl. That's going to open this position up even more for raids. And this push is just probably going to be too much for Rapl to handle. He's still making those throwing axemen, finally getting Lone Wanderer, but he's only got 3 Ulfsark here because of how little his food income is from not getting any hunt here. And now the Terma moving in, going to be attacking more of these villages, probably going to be losing one of these. No good micro from Swissboy getting out of here in time. Still letting that Valkyrie live with 13 HP. Little bit disappointing, but the throwing axeman just get picked off so fast. And nice micro pulling the Murmillo back here. Still just target the Valkyrie. Kill it. It's on 13 HP. What can you do? I like this Oracle position here for Swissboy as well, just to make sure that hunt never gets grabbed. And Swissboy can just keep running in, going for pickoffs. He still has access to his Shockwave. Picks off another dwarf here, and he's going to have to retreat. Still hasn't Shockwave, but can potentially continue to fight this here. I'm surprised to see him not taking the fights, but he is just going for chip damage here, getting a lot of value out of this. And now the units do move in. Nice javelin attack onto the Hearser here. These Hearser are incredibly tanky, but very slow. We are seeing these units still moving in. Nice shockwave there. Hits nearly everything. Even hits some villages there as well. And the Hearser are going to go down. We see Valor coming through as well. And that's going to help out immensely here as these Murmillo get crazy amounts of HP. He's still pulling back here yet again as he's not happy with the fight here. We see the population difference is 71 to 45. A huge advantage here for Swissboy. We even got some Cara Ballista coming in right now. Got to be careful with these. No shockwave to play with them, but they can tear through these Ulfsark quite nicely. As you see, as he can just sit in the back here and spray these units. The berry's almost finished. Does have some cow in his base that he can eat here. And we'll see how this fight's going to be going. The Carabalista still trying to get some damage done. We see the Ulfsark splitting up from the army, going to try and get around onto that Carabalista. 215 resources for that Carabalista. So you get a lot of it gets lots of value, but it gets picked off so fast if it gets any units on top of it. So we'll see if that happens. But Rapl seems to have weathered the storm so far, able to continue hitting this. And now the village is finally moving on to the deer up forward here. We'll see if that marks Swissboy to leave this location alone and prevent that one, or he can just send a couple of units over there. Now the Ulfsark moving in. They do not get hit by these Caraballs if they're running around with the 5.28 speed there. Still going after more dwarves. Gets another villager pick off. This gold mine just so obnoxiously far forward, and Swissboy gets so much value out of attacking it. The Ulfsark are still trying to come in, losing some of them as the Murmillo turn around. And if the Murmillo hit these Ulfsark here, these Caraballas to do so much damage. The Terma trying to pick off the throwing axeman, getting some value there. But all these Termas do seem to have fallen. And now it's almost throwing axeman against Murmillo here. But there's just too many Murmillo for even the correct counter units to deal with them. And he is just able to push through and pick off everything here of Rappl's. And Swissboy sees his chance now. He sees his opportunity to just go at Rappl's army. And he has lost quite a few units, but 89 population to 32 population of Rapl, who is completely getting destroyed by this Oranos push. And now the Hersa are being picked off. We're going to start seeing the Prometheans coming in for Swissboy, and Rapl needs to get more and more of these Hersa to deal with the Prometheans. And now we've got a raid onto this food situation here, this hunt, and that's huge, as Rapl losing even more villages here. And the units of Swissboy has to target or control 2 locations at once. Does manage to pick off that raiding cavalry, keeping his Terma alive in the back. We've got the throwing axemen trying to take down these Hero Murmillo, but they do stay alive for quite some time. Swissboy's raiding force needs to get over here and help out in this fight, but Rapl does decide to tap out in this moment. GG, what a strategy here from Swissboy, going for the 356 build here with the Oranos, seeing the opportunity to take that sentry tower down, take Rapl down. Had Rapl wall segmented this tower, it may have been a different situation, because he could have just got watchtowers up in order to defend this, but he did not do so. And Swissboy was able to just pick off so many villages, get such a huge advantage here, and take Rappl's Odin to pieces. So GG, well played by Swissboy, making this 2 wins, 1 win away from the Champions League for Swissboy. So very, very close. If you're enjoying these games, please consider hitting the follow button on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.